Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be winterizing our Aspen Trail 1950 BH. This is actually going to be the first year I do it. This is our second season with this trailer. The first season it was winterized by the dealer. It just happened to be there when the frost started to hit for some warranty work, so they did the winterizing last year. This year I'm going to do it. It's a little different than my old trailer. This one has a hot water bypass for the hot water tank, where my old one didn't have that. I actually had to fill the hot water tank, so it used a lot more antifreeze than this one should. This is some of the products that you need, or some of the things that you need. Here is right here. You will need it's an 1 1/16 socket, and that is to pull your anodizing rod out of your hot water tank. A 7/8 socket, wrench, even a pair of channel lock pliers, whatever will work as well. That is just to pull the plugs for the low point drains. You don't, depending on how tight they've been put in, you may not even need that. You may even be able to do it by hand. I like to grab a socket. It just gives me something a little more substantial to hold on to while I'm pulling those plugs. And then you need some antifreeze. So you want RV antifreeze, not automotive antifreeze. So right here, anti-gel de plume. So that'll be the French side. Plumbing antifreeze right there. Hopefully it shows. There we go. So plumbing antifreeze, good for -50. Burst protection. That doesn't mean it won't gel up or anything at a slightly higher temperature, but it should prevent bursting up to -50. These are the bigger jugs that I used to buy all the time. It's a 10-liter jug. And I would basically go through a whole one of those with my old trailer, because I had to fill the hot water tank. This one I don't have to, so one of these will probably do it. Even actually, will potentially even just one, maybe two. But that's everything you need. So first thing we're gonna do here is climb up into this trailer, and we are going to open all the taps. So this trailer hasn't moved in, oh man, I don't know, it's been at least a month since the last time we had it out. I think even a little bit longer than that, about a month and a half. So this will be a good test to see how your trailer holds pressure. Basically, open the tap, and we still have pressure. The pump is not on, so this should die off here. And basically what it is we're going to drain the system of as much water as we can before we actually put the antifreeze in. So we're going to open up all of the taps in the bathroom, the kitchen. So here's the bathroom taps. Now we just dropped all the pressure with the kitchen taps, so that probably won't drain too much. And we'll do the bathroom as well, or the shower, I guess, even though we don't use it because we don't hold enough water and we don't go places that are serviced. We don't tend to use the shower. It still needs to be winterized, otherwise, because you're gonna have water in there from just using the water system, so it needs to be winterized so you don't burst any of those pipes going to that as well. All right, so now that we got all the taps open, we are going to go and pull the plugs for the low point drain, open the fresh water tank drain, which mine already is. I always dump the fresh water for the trip back home, because why carry it all the way back home? So it's always open after every trip anyways. So it's actually sitting there open right now. And that one will stay open throughout the winter. I won't close it again until we are getting ready to de-winterize the trailer. But now we're going to go out. We'll do the low point drains. We're going to pull those, and we'll go pull the anodizing rod to empty out the hot water tank. Okay, so we're up near the front on the driver's side of the trailer here. That is where our freshwater tank drain is. It is right here. Water flows in the direction of the handle on all these taps, so that is open, and if there's any water in there, it would drain. Preferably you would actually be on a level surface to do this. However, I'm doing this at my house, parked up against the curb, and so we are leaning a bit to the passenger side, which kind of sucks because my low point drains are on the driver's side, but it'll do the job. So now we're just going to open up these low point drains. So here they are, here right at the back of the trailer here. Right here is just two hoses, one for your hot, one for your cold, and they just got plugs. We're just going to pull those. Okay, so hopefully that's a nice view. So they got like thumb screws on top, and then a hex plug on the bottom. So I just use a socket there. It gives me a little something more to hold on to. And pull that plug out, let that drain. So that's the cold. This should be the hot. And if there wasn't so much mud here, you'd actually see that the pipe is here. The pipe is red, indicating that it's a hot. The hot side. So you do want to make sure your hot water tank is already turned off. Otherwise you're going to burn yourself. Okay. Alright, so those are pulled there now, and they've already drained out. And so I'm just leaving the plugs here on the back of the bumper. And then we're going to go here to the hot water tank. And again, you're going to want to make sure that your hot water tank has been off and the water is no longer hot. In order to pull this. So what we're pulling is, see if you can see that right there, right here, right at the very bottom. This is our anodizing rod. This is supposed to help remove the minerals out of the water to prevent the tank from rusting. Basically, it's a sacrificial chunk of rod. What's on it I don't actually know, but it's got some stuff on it that it basically, I don't know the whole chemistry of what it does, but there you go there. And now my hot water tank is draining. So what this is it's a steel rod. It's got a really thin little steel rod right down the center here, and then it's covered in whatever this material is, mineral material, whatever, but basically this is the part that gets sacrificed to prevent your hot water tank from rusting internally. So that's that. And then after pulling this, I leave it out of the hot water tank, and I just put it inside the trailer so I know where it is to put in next season. You can also just leave it like right here, and it'll be fine, but being that we're in the winter here, snow getting in there, stuff like that, you can see in there, hopefully you can see in there, yeah, you can see in there how the threads are all dulled up and stuff. That's something you're going to want to clean out afterwards, and then flush your hot water tank before the next season, so that you get a good seal with your anodizing rod when you close it, when you put it back in. And just flush your tank out a little better. Make sure any of this material, like you can see that I got a pile up of the material off this anodizing rod right here. That could be calcium out of our water supply as well, and whatever. You want to flush that out of that hot water tank at the beginning of next season. So that is it there. We're going to let that drain out. While that's draining out, we're going to go inside and turn the bypass valves for the hot water tank. Okay, so now we're at the back of the trailer. This is for the 1950 BH. You know, depending on your trailer layout, it could be different location, whatever, but the principle is going to be the same. Provided you have a trailer that has the bypass for your hot water tank. Like I said, my old one, it was a 1970s era trailer. It did not bypass the hot water tank, so you know. But anything, I don't know, I'd say at least the most recent 20 years, probably plus that, you probably have hot water tank bypass valves. And so you just need to find your hot water tank and turn them, basically. So in this one, it is at the back bunk. You can see I've already removed all the bedding and everything, put it up here, put my panels up here. And it is in the back here. This last back sheet of wood. It has a couple of screws that hold it in place. But I took them out and I never bothered putting them back. Let me get my feet out on my tripod here. So I took them out and never put them back. The wood doesn't move on its own at all. And so you just got to kind of get in here, grab that, lift it up a bit here, and just kind of slide it back, really. Just like this. Get the camera on top of it here. And that will expose your hot water tank storage location, which is right down here. And there's some lights so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay. So, let me see if I can hold this light. There we go. And you got good visibility. And yeah, looks like the camera's doing okay. So, of course, this is your hot water tank, the big styrofoam covered thing. Again, red line coming into the tank. Or actually, that would be leaving the tank, sorry. Hot water going out. Blue line farther down there. Let's see if I can get you a better visual there. So blue line going down, that will be your inlet. And you can't see, let me see here. So at each one of these junctions right here on the back of the tank is a valve. It's a quarter turn ball valve. And the handles are on the bottom side, unfortunately, inside the top. But if you can see there, hopefully, you can see the handle is pointing towards the tank, and that'll be for both the red and the blue, right? And what we want them to do is we want them to point towards this silver line right here. Let's see if I can do this so I'm not blocking the light as well. This silver line right here is our bypass. So if you actually follow the lines down there, if you can, with the camera. Oh, and I just dropped my light. 1 second. Hopefully I didn't break it. Oh, no, it still works. Okay. So if you can follow this here, I don't know if I can get a good visual here for you. It's kind of cramped space. Maybe this way. All right, yeah, you can kind of see that there. So blue line comes in. Right now it's being routed through the hot water tank and then comes back out on the hot line and heads back to the rest of the trailer. What we're doing is we're going to direct it to go through this silver line. So it's going to come in on the blue, bypass the hot water tank, and head straight back out on the red. And that's all we're doing. So we just got to turn both these valves. So I'll get that done here. It's pretty tight getting in there and doing this, so I won't be able to make it so you can see, I don't think, but I will try. Let's see here. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so this one's easy. It's right here. They are snug to turn. Problem is I don't remember if it turns towards the... Yeah, there it is. Okay. So now it's turning. It actually turned towards the red line. But basically it's in line, all right? So now the water, instead of going in or out and then this way, it's going to come up here and go straight on through and bypass that hot water tank. Now you don't absolutely have to do this. You could leave your anodizing rod in and fill your hot water tank, but that's a pretty large tank, and it does use a lot of extra coolant, or antifreeze, not coolant, plumbing antifreeze to fill that tank. So bypass your tank, leave that anodizing rod out of your tank so that it can dry right out, and your tank will never have an issue freezing up, and you'll save a ton of plumbing antifreeze. All right, so that's done. We got to go back out. We're going to leave the anodizing rod out of the tank. We are going to leave the fresh water tank drain open, and we are going to go and replug those low point drains. And then we can actually get to the point where we're putting the antifreeze back into the, or putting the antifreeze in to the lines to prevent those from freezing. All right, let's get on it. Okay, so we got the low point drain plugs back in. We got the tank has finished draining, and so now it's just going to sit there and dry out. You can see by all the water on the ground here that it is a substantial amount of water that that hot water tank holds, and so that's going to, you know, obviously that would all turn into antifreeze that you'd have to put in if you didn't do the bypass on the hot water tank. So now I'm just going to put my cover back on here, grab my tools from the back and my anodizing rod, and we're going to head back into the trailer. Okay, so we are back in the trailer, and now we're getting to the point where we're going to be putting the antifreeze into the system. So on the, again, the 1950 BH by Aspen Trail there, the hot water tank is underneath the front bed. So pull your bedding off, flip your little access hatch to the storage area. You see I got my solar gear in here. If you haven't seen those videos, watch out for those to come out, or check them out if they're already out. I don't know yet. This video will be out before I release those solar panel videos, the solar setup videos. But what we want to do is we want to get in here. Okay, so we're in here. You got your freshwater tank, you got your pump, you got your antifreeze hose. Okay, now this has the same valve, quarter turn valve, that is on the hot water tank to bypass it. Same concept. So let me get this wiring out of the way a little bit. The direction that the handle is going is the direction that the water is flowing. So right now it's pulling it out of the tank right here, going through the pump and pressurizing the system on the cold line here. We only have a cold line here because we haven't heated the water yet. And then this will go back. It'll feed all of the cold taps as well as our hot water tank. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we have this other line right here which is not connected to anything. So I follow that line. I just pulled it out here and it just doesn't connect to anything. That we're going to put that inside of our coolant, or our, keep calling it coolant, our antifreeze jug, and we want to redirect the flow off of this line. So we're turning the valve so that it points down this line, right? So now it's going to suck in this line and go through the pump and pressurize our system. All right, so that's what we're doing now. I'm going to go get a jug of antifreeze here, and we'll get it started. So now you can see here I have the hose bypassed going into the leftover large jug of antifreeze I had from last time I did this. Now remember, we opened up all of the taps, so before you go turning your pump on, close all your taps again. So there's a tap closed there at the kitchen. Go into the bathroom and close the taps in the sink and on the shower. So I said don't forget that shower. And also, this shouldn't have any water in it because we never did use the shower yet, but just kind of pull that and down and kind of just let it drain down into the shower as well. You will pump some of the antifreeze through that just to protect it as well. Now obviously that's a bit easier fix if you have to, but still, if you don't have to, you don't have to. Why not? All right, so now I'm just going to turn on my pump here, right here. So water pump, and we can hear the pump working. Hopefully it primes itself quite quickly, and it actually sounds like we're already starting to make some pressure. It's definitely sucking out of that jug there. It's going down pretty quickly. So we're basically going to wait for that pressure to build here. Oh, there we go. We're already done. Now, I like to start at the closest. So we're going to go through from the kitchen here. Closest, farthest, I don't think it really matters. But here's my tap here for the kitchen. Let's see if I can get a good visual here for you. Something along those lines. Get rid of the strainer, that doesn't really need to be in there. And pull the plug, holding water. Alright, now my tap is like a single, you know, I never remember, I don't know if it's marked on here. One way's hot, one way's cold. I'd rather do the cold first, but like I said, I don't know which way it is, so we're just gonna do one then the other. So I don't like to open it wide open because that pump's gonna have to catch up as we push the air and everything out. Hopefully you can hear me over all the excess noise. But basically what we're waiting for is no more air and a good steady stream of nice pink fluid. So, like, that's actually already looking pretty pink. I don't know if you can tell there. I don't know if that helped, maybe the white contrast. But that's a nice pink. You can definitely see in the sink that it is very, very solid pink in there. So that is pretty good. Now we'll open it up and just let her go. That gave a really good solid pink, so that's nice. And I need to check how much I got in this jug. Oh, we still got some left in that jug. Okay, so now we'll flip it to the other side and redo it. Now, I think this is the hot, so we're actually running all the way to the back of the trailer, coming back towards the front of the trailer through the hot line. So this one might take a little longer. You can see how it's very clear right now. Oh, now we're starting to get some air bubbles in there, so that's usually, this will almost always happen before the pink really hits. And you can see it's just getting stronger and stronger pink now. All right, so like right there, that's good, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna open this up and really push them through. And see how it's really bright pink? And look at how pink that is going down the drain. So now all that also that we flushed down here, that's gonna take care of any drain water that's left over in the drain, anything like that. You really have nothing to worry about. So I'm gonna reset this tap. And I'm going to, this jug is getting very empty, so I'm going to actually switch over to a new jug of antifreeze, and I'm going to go do the bathroom. So when you do the bathroom, I'm not going to film it all the way here, because if you've done one tap, you've done them all type of thing. But remember, do both hot and cold on both your sink and your shower over here, and do your shower head as well, just to make sure. But don't forget your toilet. So basically you're just going to sit there and step on the pedal to fill the toilet full of water until you got a real good steady pink coming through that as well, and then just flush it down and call it a day. That's it, you're done at that point. So I'm going to get this over with, and then I'll be right back, close this up. Pump off. Okay, so that's it. I'm done already. That took me another, I'd say under 5 minutes. If you're curious how much I used what was left in that jug, which I have no idea what it was. And I used about half, looks like about half of this jug here. So I like to go through, I like to put it through heavy. I like to make sure that I'm not even leaving air in the line, so that they're right full of the antifreeze. And also that just gives me some excess antifreeze running down my drain lines, so to help protect those a little bit. So you know, you might be able to get away with one of these jugs. I'd buy two just to be on the safe side. You get the job done. It's not like it's going to go bad. You reuse it next season. So, you know, no big deal there. Remember when you pull out your siphon line, there's going to be some antifreeze in there, so you're either going to want to wrap that with a towel or something if you tuck it down, or do like I did and just make sure it stays with the open end up high for now, and it'll, you know, keep that antifreeze in that line. It's not necessary to keep the antifreeze in that line. Like, you know, any water that's in there is going to have been flushed through anyways, if there was any in the first place, which there shouldn't have been. So things to remember, open up your fresh water, your fresh tank drain, leave it open for the winter. It's not going to hurt anything. Pull your anodizing rod out of your hot water tank and leave that out so that that tank can dry up fully. And it's not going to hurt it to leave it out the entire season either, or the entire winter either. Do not forget to put in your low point drains. If you don't do that, everything you pump when you turn on the pump for the antifreeze is just going to pump right back out onto the road. So don't forget to put those back in before you start actually pumping your antifreeze. And other than that, yeah, as long as you got good concentration coming through, your lines should be protected. I've been doing this forever, my entire life this way, and have never had an issue. So that is the end of it. If you like these videos, if you like what I do, you know, subscribe, hit the like button, suggest the video to friends. It'll help get me out there. Other than that, have a great time camping and have a good time. See ya. Bye.